Good morning. The problem with this country really is that no one does their fucking homework. They're right. They're right in saying that. They're not right in how they and why and how they treat that or anything else. But that is the baseline problem of the country. No disrespect. I'm just going to clear the whiteboard again, just so I can write some new things, I guess, like a teacher's. Like, isn't that fucking crazy? Weird how we have a big... Anyway, I'm not going to get into how our country is organised. That's not particularly my job. My job in this moment is to say what is our country. A lot of people that try and put their hand up to get paid to organise their country, they like to constantly keep themselves in the frame. But before I get to that, I need to know, what is our country? What is it? Is it a hotel? Is it a hotel like on Monopoly? That doesn't even look like a hotel. That looks like a house. A hotel would be like multiple ones of that, I guess, without a door on. Obviously, without it. See, they made it look easier on Play School than it really is. That's not how to build a hotel. God, I've already made a fucking critical error and people have jumped off the fucking top floor of the hotel to their death. That's why you can't design like that. You can't be an architect like that. You can't draw like that. That's just silly. And for starters, no, Australia's not a hotel. And it's certainly not a fucking hotel, California. Now, if I told you a story, if I made a movie, say, about like a rebellious fucking, English guy, say like Ned Kelly, which that's what that movie was when Mick Jagger was in it. Rebellious Ned Kelly. They should never have let Mick Jagger be Ned Kelly. I love Mick Jagger, but that was a fucking mistake. God damn it, that was a mistake. That fucking really misread the fucking room. Because Mick Jagger's not Australian, or he's not Irish. But, you know what I mean? He's a pommy fucking rock and roll star, which is great in England and on the radio, but not playing Ned Kelly. And I think he knows he did that. I think he knows he made a mistake. The problem is what that did, that whole phenomenon, it made a bunch of fucking like faggot farming fucking children who had just moved to fucking Australia believe that they could steal fucking, native born like long-term families of this thing, and then discard them into a fucking waiting fucking Bunnings warehouse pharmaceutical fucking prison. And there actually is a connection between Bunnings warehouse and this monstrous fucking like first wife's prison that was created in this period. And I keep trying to say it like I keep trying to say, look, this is what it was. The world is constantly doing this and then being exposed for this. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily even the person's fault, but it is. It's like, where did that fucking... Why is this continuing on? Why is this continuing on? Really? What's going on here? What is Australia? Is Australia a fucking hotel? No. So why are English fucking pretend fucking rock stars pretending to be fucking an American fucking rock group and then putting fucking their first wives in this? Was your dad flying around in a fucking jet? No, he wasn't doing this. So why does he do this? My kid's mum has basically literally tried to murder me. Even so, okay, she actually is Irish. She's definitely not English. And she is Australian as well, okay? But she's tried to kill me for the last 4 years, psychologically, physically, like basically just tortured me until I hopefully off myself because I was singing about that anyway. I guess it was a pretty good fucking, well, he's singing about killing himself all the time. All we got to really do is just poke a couple of fucking, fuck him around a bit, ruin his business, fucking ruin his fucking engagement, steal his children, call him all the fucking names under the sun, and he's probably going to fucking do the job for us. I guess that was the thing that was supposed very different. That's pretty horrific as well. That's more horrific. So we went, in one generation, we went from English fucking faggot fucking sons of farmers, wannabe fucking California rock stars, putting their first wives in fucking a pharmaceutical prison with chocolate cake and happy pills, to the next generation of that was fucking daughters of Irish immigrants trying to fucking horrifically kill and the whole fucking system getting around that. Whoa. Hotel California much? Yeah. Yeah, Hotel California. And all I'm trying to do is like fucking figure out my family tree of my dad that had nothing to do with any of this fucking nonsense. We can't isolate. Like, this is what's happened. You've all just, it's like, what's the problem? Him. Well, that's racism. Kind of. That's the same as when people go, the problem is the Aboriginal people. The fucking Aboriginal people have been here a lot longer than everyone else. They can't be the problem. Like, the problem is that English people came here and considered Australians as a lower class. But then they didn't understand the history because they didn't do their homework, because they were all fucking listening to fucking the Eagles and doing fucking tons of fucking cocaine, I'm guessing, and speed and wanting and trying to be rock stars. But it's a hotel, but it's not a hotel. You misunderstood. It's not a hotel. Australia never has been a hotel. So then you tried to turn it into a hotel. Well, a hotel has like staff. And you're like, we all work for the hotel. And I'm like, it's still not a hotel, you fucking idiots. It's never been a fucking hotel. It's a fucking country. It's a country. You can put a hotel in it, yeah? And then you can go in voluntarily into the hotel and out of the hotel, not like Hotel California, that you can never leave. But you can never leave. No, I didn't go into Hotel California. I was born into the aftermath of Hotel California. With my father kind of just being like, it's all right. I'll fucking take it from here. This fucking no hope and dickheads fucking ran off and fucking done this, right? This is the mentality that my children's stepfather has, because he's not understanding the full picture, because he hasn't done his homework, because he's in a type of Hotel California as well. Just fucking pink champagne on ice, except it's fucking vodka straight out of the bottle. I don't know what the fuck it is. But there's a fucking reoccurring fucking situational problem that still gets back to the original fucking conception of, why did you all fuck my dad over? And then are you doing it again to me? Because as I've said, my dad fucking had a plate here. He was here. He came in, fixed the Hotel California fucking problem. You know what I mean? Then obviously they're like, we don't need the stallion anymore. We've got the two fucking, foals? Is that what they call fucking things? We've got the two foals. We've got a spare. We can kill one of them in a pharmaceutical accident, trying to fucking make the hotel even fucking shinier. And then if the other one, it's like, then we'll just keep fucking talking the other one into fucking going in the hotel. I'm like, I don't want to go in the fucking Hotel California. It's the weirdest, because it's all this Bunnings warehouse. It's like you've lost sight of something massively and structurally. And then there's no communication because you assume I'm in a dungeon somewhere going insane. But that's your conception. That's your reality, because that's what your dad did. Your dad put our mum in fucking there, right? So he could go and play guitar and sing. I haven't done that. I haven't done that to my kid's mum. Maybe the jury's out whether maybe I should have, but obviously I'm not going to send her somewhere that treats people as horrifically as my mother while I'm trying to get my mother out of that same fucking place. I do think she should maybe have 2 weeks in jail for drunk and disorderly. Yes, I do. I do think that. And really, what she's tried to do to me is far worse than what my mum tried to do to your fucking dad's fucking wife, or whatever the fuck it is, that started this. All of it. It's a separate. It's like, basically, this is what they want us to believe. There's Judaism, and then there's Islam. Fucking, that's a star. That's not disrespectful. There's like Christianity. There's like Hinduism, Buddhism, all these fucking other ones, that whatever. And then there's fucking Hotel California, fucking pharmaceutical fucking Wonderland, Disneyland. You went to Disneyland and then bragged about it and brought us hats back. It's like, it's fucking, it's so, that's not where I live. I don't want to go to Disneyland. I occasionally like Disney movies and I think they're okay in the sound. It's, because they've got whatever. But it's like, I didn't smoke on that crack pipe. I didn't inhale. Basically, that's what it is. You're all sitting there going, "Oh, you're smoking weed, you're doing anything." I didn't inhale Hotel California, Disneyland as a religion to base my life on. Yeah. I just didn't do it. I'm a little bit disappointed because my dad was basically like, all religion shit. That wasn't great either. So I had to find out I had to map the whole fucking terrain. I had to map the whole area. And what I found out is that although Disney's good, it's not a religion, and Hotel California is not a fucking, and pharmaceuticals aren't fucking God. And this superiority complex that came from a fucking English fucking faggot rock star playing the most notorious Irish fucking outlaw in Australian history. No, this is all silly. You can't have everything your way all the time. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to fucking get paid for mum. So she has her own shit because they've fucking abused her. Right? Then she's living in a property that she should never have lived in this paradigm of fucking complete encirclement, like a fucking siege. You put my father under siege in a fucking state and then sat there and milked him. And then the minute he's gone, you all fucking turn on me in this face. You're all fucking insane. It's like, that's, you might work in a fucking hotel, and yeah, it's like the state government, but you don't really legally understand what that all is. Like, the state governments have done horrific things all the time. So it's like, that's the assumption. We've got to constantly be on the defense for that. Not bending over. And this is like, who set that example? Your fucking dad. He's going to enjoy a V for vendetta, I guess. But it's not even a vendetta. This isn't some weird fucking boyhood thing against your dad. Obviously, your dad, there's nothing wrong with the music thing. That's what I'm saying. It's not his fault. But we have to get to that conversation. There's no other way around it. Because it's like, from those actions, which really is, there was a responsibility there that he has abdicated his responsibility. And I just want to get down to like, well, is he Australian? I don't think so. I don't know what that extended family thinks. No matter how well on the outside or the service looks in that hotel is not Australia. It just isn't. Okay, it is a thing. You cannot force like coerce, using police, using violence, using threats, using financial intimidation, using slander, using discrimination established by your father's example. Like all of these things are against the law. All of them. While you were not there at any point. You have not been there. You've not been observing. You've not made any interactions. And in fact, you're now repeating it again on a childless line down my sister's line. Like these things are really fucking important. I'm not sitting here trying to pursue legal charges or retribution on anything on all of you individually. You are the example of what happens when somebody and a system allows people to do this. I was never married. Why was I never married? Because I'd already had the example, and I was really suspicious of marriage, divorce, the family, already all of it, obviously, because I was born into that situation where you were milking my father's fucking thing. And the payments to my mother, it's like that made everything more expensive for my father. It's like these are baseline economic realities based on really a communist socialist system that uses our mum like a battery to keep a bunch of fucking knobheads, fucking cokehead, fucking festival, fucking partying university fucking graduates in a fucking job like you all are. But you won't come to any conversation. I've been in every position in this. I see it 365 degrees. Is it 300? No, it's 360. 360 degrees. That's the year. 365 is the amount of days in the year. Isn't that weird? There is no pathway through. There is a division here. Now, that's what our political system is. But our political system does not allow this type of behavior. This is organized crime. And I know all of you don't think that's what you are, but that is what you are. It's like this is all introduced. I did a long video yesterday about willows. It's like, well, okay, cool, wonderful. If we're at the conversation where they introduce willows or a conversation, let's really get down to the introduced concepts of fucking Disneyland, fucking pharmaceutical Hotel California and iPhones. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that seems more destructive than willows do. Wouldn't you agree? It's basically like everywhere is divided. So this is what the idea of, and even religions are everywhere is divided. So we've got to look really hard. There is no like national identity of Australia. There is basically people with stability, like with stable long-term holdings and that take care of those things and can maintain that because they've historically built those systems to stop the encroachment of this nonsense for hundreds of years. But this is all like clearly a Nazi fucking American paradigm. So we have an outcrop of fucking Nazis in California, obviously, in America, projecting shit around the world that got a big head start that made a lot of fucking ground, but that ground is all sitting on nothing. There was no, because it's all conceptual. So there was no actual engineering, political engineering, scientific, legislative engineering. I mean, there is, don't worry, there fucking is. But when it comes to an argument such as this, for so long as this, the non-reply already implies that there is a fucking class-based abusive fucking relationship going on with all of you and myself, which is my fucking claim the whole time. Because unfortunately, according to for my daughter, who fucking hates when I say this, I am Cinderella. Except, and I said this to my girlfriend the other day, except I'm not looking for Prince Charming. My father already was Prince Charming. I'm Prince Charming's son. This is the craziest part of all this. Something about and it's probably it's probably been egged on between what your father told you about my father, obviously, right? Because he was feeling guilty. He didn't do this. And he was married, and he left a marriage and then got remarried and had children and pretended that everything was great. But it doesn't seem that great. And I'm not trying to fucking open up a can of fucking like worms inside your psychologies, okay? I'm not trying to gaslight you into any type. You're all okay. You're just operating in a fucking socialist hotel that is, trespassing on Australian soil. Because it gets down to like we have to get to fundamentals. Any day now, the entire global fucking supply chain of fluid money, finances, which plugs into everything, can stop because it's going to fuck up. It's going to malfunction. Which means what do we go back to? We go back to base principles. And what's on base principles? Like property ownership and all these fucking things. We have a clear system. The house I'm sitting at now, this is where it's like there's an argument, oh, you're not doing anything. Yeah, because I'm rejecting that model. Even if you were all successful and you completely robbed me fucking of every asset my father ever had and every asset I accumulated in my however long employment, it's like, yeah, that's when I really just start. I just wander off and go and fucking build something else on the dole. Because I don't live in your fucking Hotel California paradigm. When you're in a hotel, what do? You turn the TV on, you might have a drink out of the minibar, you might fucking go and watch a show, you might do something else. That's not what Australia is, because they're obviously, the Aboriginals hadn't built a hotel. If the Aboriginals built a hotel, they'd be doing a lot better than they are now. They didn't build a hotel. And neither did we. We built a country, or we were building a country, and then a bunch of entitled fucking poms came here and tried to build a fucking Hotel California. I like the music. I like the ideal. I like everything about it. But it's like this rock star image, all this stuff. It doesn't work when you've all fled England and then you're dispossessing fucking like native Australians, people that have been here longer than you, people that have like long-term stable visions. It's like the ultimate loophole for fucking English people. Like, oh, I'm sick of feeling under the thing. I'm going to go and be superior in Australia. I hope that there aren't any fucking like unbroken connections to that thing in Australia that weren't allowed to fucking, parade around with, or that weren't allowed to establish themselves in the same way. We're still established. I'm established historically. So an attack on me like this, an attack on my father's property like this, an attack on my children like this is an attack on the king. It's an attack on the fucking entire fucking established system of the Commonwealth. And unlike, the Hotel Californias, the fucking Eagles, what are all these people, like, these people maintain things and they've done productive things. They've conservation and they've established fucking areas that are stable. It's all an encroachment. And I can't. The only way you are perceiving this is that you've all put me in a dungeon like you put Mum in, and no one can hear me, but that isn't true. That isn't true. I can't make a move into all of this sorts it out. I am a hostage by a bunch of hotel workers that have, conspired to steal from me. And that is an expression on top of that. It's like, if you're going to do that to this place here and, whatever, then you're doing that to the country. And it's just always the same thing. It's like there is a really unhealthy relationship obviously, because what we weren't told about the English people that came here, the wave of English people that came in the last 60 years, or so 70 years, 80 years, is that they were undesirables. And they didn't, there is Australia till 80 years ago, and then there's Australia now, and it's like, it's just not the same thing. So we need to work all this out. This was all worked out religiously. It's why it's like, what's one of my possessions that I've very carefully hidden as a piece of fucking crucial evidence? It's the Bible from my fucking mother's first wedding. Of course it is, because that's where everything went wrong. There is, in a time capsule, in a very special location, there is my mother's Bible and your father's Bible that they fucking got married on. Because this is the tension, according to religious law. And with that, there is a newspaper article on the day that the King of England went and visited Pope Francis before he died. Why does that all exist? Why am I doing all this? Oh, because you're crazy, Shannon. You're a crazy, delusional fucking bipolar. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you think, I'm going to go and live on a small island that we've just discovered right down the south of the entire globe that we didn't know half of it existed? Is that a delusion of grandeur? I'd say it is. I'd say it's less of a delusion of grandeur than the people that came here later that were getting video and all this, it actually exists. It's this thing. It's like this. You thought you were coming to a hotel. And the socialism that appeared in the United Kingdom, obviously in the time, since the end of World War II, that slowly crept in. Because the problem is, I think the United Kingdom fought a war against fascism and against communism, really. But to do that, it came together as a front. This is the story we're told, which is kind of communism in defense. But then it went back out. Now, a lot of the wealth from the United Kingdom comes from its exploratory holdings, Australia being one of them. So if you're in England working towards the exploratory holdings of things, or if you're in Australia maintaining those holdings or adding value to those holdings or doing all these things, you're part of a big system that is adding value, stabilizing, and building on an asset. If you've come and you're living in the Hotel Australia, it's like, I just fucking sweep the floor and I get fucking paid for it, and then I get a room and fucking board and things like that. Which I'm in that type of arrangement now, but it's like, I fucking hate this arrangement. I hate it. I wouldn't be doing this ever in a million years. Not to do with the person, but to do with the arrangement. But it's like, well, otherwise what? Do I do fucking a collection of these every year and then send a fucking book to the fucking PM? Probably. And that's how it happened before. That's why things were so slow. But you've all moved very quickly as soon as you were able to, weren't you? Or haven't you? As soon as you were all able to move very quickly together to try and kill me and steal my shit or my father's shit or my family's shit, you all fucking did that pretty snappily and all fucking combined, like a big old army. Look, really, just amazing fucking organisation for you all to collectively do that. And then it's just me on the other end. Isn't that fucking weird? Don't you all feel weird about that? I've had that in real life. I've had 10 people kick the shit out of me on a floor, in a car park. And then another 10 fucking Maori cunts fucking do it. It wasn't my family or my supposed family doing it on fucking iPhones. That's fucking way weirder and longer and crazier. I honestly don't know how you all fucking sleep at night. I really don't. You're on a treadmill that didn't exist. Go and fucking, like, you've all got equity of sorts. You've all got something. It's like, yeah, it's Australia. If you don't want to go and farm sheep and build a fucking shed out of fucking old logs, fuck off. Yeah, there's no shortcuts in this fucking country. You've gotten used to, like, if you come from a city or you come from whatever, you've gotten used to this kind of, business is just this fucking thing. Yeah, fucking right. But you're playing with things that are untouchable. On this system, my children have been exposed to atrocity. They've been fucking kind of like recruited to a digital fucking war on phones that's inevitable in the future if this shit isn't fucking put to an end right now. Let alone a war of psychological attack on every single person's fucking deepest, darkest fucking psychological elements on a pharmaceutical psychiatric method that now everyone's a fucking expert in. Why is every second woman all of a sudden some type of fucking mystical fucking healer? Because it's communism. They're trying to play the system. They're trying to game the system. Fuck off. And the problem is, it's like, this is so disgusting, yuppie, like, it's like fascism, but it's leaning into fucking communism, complete communism, but with this class thing. So you've communized the wrong class. You've tried to socialize the fucking, like, the elite, like, fucking mooching fucking grifter class. And that's never going to work. It worked when there was like one fucking crazy guy who went to all these crazy schools and he kind of had an opinion and he had this like wide like experience of reading to draw upon and these conceptions about psychology. And they're wonderful people. And that's what it's like. But this distributed fucking Jungian or distributed Freudian fucking model, it's a fucking franchise. And you can't prove it's a fucking franchise. Freud is basically the fucking Ronald McDonald, even though Freud, I don't know how much fucking prescription he was doing. So Sigmund Freud is the Ronald McDonald, and then the rattle, yeah, which most of these fucking boomers were given a rattle. Oh, let's give them a rattle again. But let's make it full of fucking pills that make them feel weird. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yous are all crazy. And then it's like, what have you done to keep that supply chain fucking con going? Well, you've killed one brother and you're trying to kill your other brother, who are basically in the timeline of who you are, they may as well be fucking Aboriginal people. With their distant relative signature on the federation of the country. Sitting on a painting at the back of of Parliament House. Have you been to Parliament House? Have you gone right to the back of it? Have you seen the fucking painting with my distant relative fucking sitting on there looking right at you between two lawyers? I don't think you have. The problem is when people think of convicts and criminals, they go like, oh, the people stealing the loaf of bread. They instantly think poor people. That's what they think. They don't think like participants of an organized crime, global distribution, fucking gaslighting, fucking psychological warfare element, which is also a criminal, really, isn't it? They never think that. They think of some fucking, I don't know, crackhead breaking someone's fucking window to steal their wallet out of their fucking Honda Civic. Crime is crime. Attempted murder is attempted murder. Torture is torture. Psychological abuse is psychological abuse. Conspiring to torture somebody, this is what this is. And the craziest thing is that you did it all while I was fucking declaring where I was and who I was doing it on behalf of. And so you all seem very eager to have a civil war. On what fucking grounds do you even have the right to claim fucking loyalty or ownership to this fucking patch of land? You don't. You have brought nothing but fucking shit here. We have a trusted structure. It is the most highly desired structure on earth for people to interact with. Highly respected, highly stable, not at all needing gimmicks like a rattle filled with fucking drugs. We don't have a distributed bunch of fucking expert fucking priest class people, not even with stethoscopes. Just, I don't know. It's like, what is it to be a psychiatrist? You have a DSM, a bookshelf with DSM on it and a book of Freud and I don't know, some weird ornament that you got from somewhere and then talk. Now, this isn't on psychologists because psychology is very important. This is what I'm doing. It's what I've studied for 10 years. Where's your degree? Well, I didn't get a degree because all the degrees are shit. I went and made my own degree. That's what I did. You want to go get a fucking psychology degree to then go and make rattles? Yeah, it's a real fucking easy pathway. It's like fucking going to IKEA. You go in, you go in as a fucking teenager that's just finished high school, and you come out as a rattle salesman. No, to build your own degree and check it, your own hypothesis, and then interact with fucking global monstrous fucking corporations in their balancing thing to deal with their, invasion of these elements into their systems. Because no one knew this. It's like not anyone was sitting there knowing this is a thing. We discover things by these tools. And what we've discovered is horrific. That's why there's an attempt now to shut down the social media. Or shut down the place where fucking people can talk safely, non-physically, in a secure fucking way that's on record, that can be, seen like kids fucking doing a speech on the fucking stage at their school. Shut that down. What do we keep? The weird office with the guy with the bookshelf fucking selling rattles. Oh, I don't think so. That whole system props up the fucking damage that was done from the fathers leaving. And then you're trying to double down and claim that I left. I didn't leave. I was already attacked before I left. And I still never left. In an example here, the house I'm in here, the marriage that that birthed the child of my current girlfriend in this, it's like that individual changed the locks on the house because he was caught fucking cheating. The mother of my children stayed in the fucking house for a year with us kind of having it really is. I really cannot escape the reality that based on our history, there was it's not like I don't really desire this or want this. I want peace from all of this. But it's really difficult for me to see whether we probably would have gotten back together if it wasn't for fucking COVID. I've been at war for fucking 4 years. Obviously, provably. Look at it. Look at the fucking evidence. I'm not sitting here going, the clouds have fucking helicopters in it. It's not what I'm doing. It's called a coup. Okay? And you all have buyer's remorse right now. I understand that. Buyer's remorse from the coup factory. Oh, shit, I didn't really need this coup. I got told all these things, and now I feel icky because I've spent too much money, and I tried to kill my brother, and I've tortured him for 3 years, and his children have been stolen and exposed to fucking basically a crack pipe fucking digital iPhone infrastructure while I was pretending I was some type of fucking business coach, healer. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And what am I doing? I'm like, I'd quite like to go and, tackle the really big issues that have been caused by removing 90% of the fucking canopy, the trees of this place by the agriculture of the previous centuries, while my sister works in that fucking current industry. It's really bad. All of it's really bad. You all need to fucking figure out a solution to this problem. The element of Anthony Paul Moulding within this is a very destructive element. Because he did to me. So I dispossessed my entire fucking family, put my fucking business aspirations in the fucking, not in the mincer, but made them way more difficult to do all these things. We don't live in a paradigm. Australia wasn't filled with peasants and criminals and abos. I know that's what you think it is, but it wasn't. We don't live in communist China where the peasants are fucking being driven into the cities to do this thing and it's this big utopian fucking plan. No. We live in the complete reverse of that. Almost every person in Australia hopes to do well to get the fuck out of the city. Or they have aspirations outside of the city. The city is a nuisance here. It is a massive inconvenience, and it is encroaching in places that it doesn't understand, in your mind, in your school, in your body, in your children's bodies, literally. Like, this isn't going to fly. If you had basically, this is what it comes down to. I'm holding up the voice of my people, which aren't all Australian. They're West Australian, they're Australian, they're Tasmanian, they're fucking English, they're Scottish. They're people that fucking hate this city slicker fucking bullshit. And we are the majority of the world. And that doesn't mean that we're hillbillies. The King of England isn't a fucking hillbilly, yet he spends most of his time walking around with a shepherd's fucking stick, you know what I mean, breeding horses and things like this. Because there's not a lot of things we can do in the world that are sustainable and productive and kind of and sit nicely on the land and create a product and all these things. We've had 10,000 years of this, and we've gotten pretty down to the thing, and we're at a point where, yeah, we can introduce more diversity and kind of get out of the hyper focus a little bit. But that doesn't mean putting on fucking wank goggles and fucking blasting yourself off into the metaverse. It doesn't mean fucking, getting a little rattle from your fucking psychiatrist and blasting yourself off into the metaverse. It doesn't even mean going and getting tropic fucking drugs from the new attempted fucking model of the fucking grifter fucking psychiatric community. The problem is that cities are shit. They're violent, dirty, fucking disgusting fucking places of sin. And you all live in a fucking, the shittiest fucking, most rundown fucking drug-infested, rat-infested hotel that has cropped up from that. And you're all on the fucking payroll. And you're all running your fucking drugs and fucking nonsense all across the fucking land. It's like in a playground where a kid keeps getting a bigger. So I've got a bazooka. I've got a fucking helicopter. I've got a battleship. I've got a nuclear bomb. This is what the policing is. You enforce things on police. Like, all right, we're about to become the new fucking police. The actual fucking police of this land. Now, what do we do with you all? We already sent everyone to Australia. There needs to be the fucking hangover. There is no way forward. This is held in absolute fucking about to snap tension of 1,000 years of British history. It's time. The party is over. It needs to stop. There is more than enough fucking land for anyone to do anything. Even if you want a fucking swimming pool. It's all available. But this fucking nonsense has to stop. There's a few key places, like the universities. You've really got to fucking pull yourselves out and say and declare what you've done. But they can't, because the people in the administration, the people in the management, even they're not educated enough to know that they're just doing this. So what am I doing here daily? I'm trying to send a clear message. It's like, your bubble is about to be popped. Like, basically, when other countries have done this, there is a country, I think it was Argentina, they killed their fucking president on national TV. You're all working hand in hand to usher us into hell. You know, so that every fucking child's dream, it's like, I wish I had gone back in time and killed Hitler. Albo isn't Hitler. Albo's kept there by your collective fucking silence on the issue. And any person I fucking approach doesn't ever say anything, which means that all of you collectively aren't saying anything, which means it's an automaton. It's the Wizard of fucking Oz. It's not real. If someone fucking attacks me and says something, I defend myself in the moment. I'm like, yes, I do. I don't fucking put it off on the confidence that there's so many of me. There are so many of you, but guess what? There is more than enough of us, because none of you are actually fucking anything. Even your leaders aren't anything. Because anyone that's got half a brain has gotten the fuck away from this system, has abandoned ship, has cleared their fucking name from the record book of this monstrous fucking system. So who is the conversation with? The collective amount that my mother has been funded by the West Australian state government, by her being placed into this system by her ex-husband, my half-brother and sister's father, far outweighs the asset she's holding that was given to her or stolen by her. This is one of the problems with our socialized dole system, is that even to say, I don't know what dollar, it's like $250 a week or something like that. That's the equivalent of a $250,000 asset. It's rental return. You have an apartment that's worth $250,000, you might get $250 a week for it. So we're giving people an asset worth $250,000 fucking dollars for as long as they don't have a fucking job. And this is what I mean. It's like, what happens when a your words not mine, mentally ill woman, under the confidence of a fucking private insurance, pharmaceutical distribution, organized criminal network, steals quite a large asset off a family, which is my family, and then is paid the equivalent value of that property. I think whatever it was, she sold that property for $275,000. If I'm fucking correct, it might have been $375,000. I think it was $275,000, because then she bought a property in Mount Helena for $150,000. So one, it's like there wasn't that much owing. So where did all that fucking money go? And then she was being paid the whole time. This is insane. This is insane. It's absolutely and utterly insane. You were right. But it's not her. It's all of you. And there's nowhere to go. It's like none of this is real. None of this is real. None of the money. This is a classic bubble. This is a classic fucking... This is what happens when you identify a bubble, property, in this case, it's an everything bubble, and then you try and engineer the solution so that no one can see the bubble. So what does that do to anyone trying to expose the bubble? And in this case, expose the bubble being like, ow, stop hurting me. Ow, stop hurting my children. Ow, ow. I'm not going to be alone in this. There will be hundreds of thousands of me. This is the pit. I've got a poem where I fucking describe the pit. And it says, in the pit, the self is it. That's what it says. You know, so it's a little, like it sounds like a nursery rhyme. And this is like, if I say 1840, this is Australia. Wise family arrives in Van Diemen's Land in Tasmania. Then sometime, it's like basically 1980, I'm guessing 2 years before my birth. The pit. In the pit, the self is it. IT. Information technology. No. Ivanka Trump. Pennywise. Do you want me to keep going? In the pit, the self is it. Now, the only thing you could all do from the pit is yell up and say, look how selfish he is. Look, and this is kind of what it boils down is, look how selfish he is. He's not only solely focused on himself in the pit with all of us. And clearly that is it. He's worried about trees and shit. He's worried about fucking bees. He's worried about worms. Fuck that. In the pit, the self is it. And if it isn't, then we'll fucking kill you or we'll torture you. Now, my hope is that this is 2025 and I'm up here still, right? Because I tightrope walked that cunt. Oh, yeah, don't worry. I've got myself. There's a fair bit of myself going on. Quite like all of you. Because I spanned the pit with my fucking wire that I walked across, like on that movie that vaguely resembles Back to the Future in some type of weird predictive programming that may or may not exist. I've tightrope walked that cunt. And what gave me the fucking confidence to tightrope walk across a fucking pit like that? Cannabis. That I grew myself for fuck all. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's so easy to grow. It's like pleasant. It's just a fucking plant. I don't have to go to organized crime or anything. It was like I grew a fucking plant. And that gave me the confidence to tightrope walk over the entire fucking global population being in a pit of fucking self-indulgence. To the point that I'm here. And the other thing was fucking hashtag scale matters. What does that mean? It means I had a mirror so I could look at myself the whole time and keep track of where I was and keep balance while I walk across a tightrope walk of fucking ravenous, murderous communists all in this pit of IT. Of information and technology. And what was their weapon of choice? Peer pressure. So I told my whole school, like, don't resort to peer pressure. And then it's like, peer pressure is what you all just did, non-stop. And most people, without the help of cannabis and a mirror, were sucked into that fucking pit with all of you. They're all sucked in there. They're like, fuck yeah, we got another one. Yeah, come and fucking party with us down in hell. Fuck off. Fuck off. So my hope is that now that I'm here and I'm projecting this down here via IT. I'm like, I've got it. I made it. Woohoo! I made it across. And you're all like treading on each other and shitting on each other and fucking, you know what I mean? It's disgusting down there. It is absolutely fucking disgusting. It's like the world's largest candid camera thing. It's like, holy fucking shit. Look what happens in that pit when everyone thinks that the self is it. So anyway, I'm just going to keep on fucking walking on the fucking solid ground. And this is like basically, this is the danger. Go to Kalgoorlie, you'll fall down a pit. Same thing, same exact thing. You all thought you were going to find gold at the bottom of this fucking selfish fucking gold mine. This has happened over and over and over again. Just this time, the gold mine was kind of like based on like property It's like an interplay between property, retirement, like digital utopia in the form of like pornography and like Netflix. It's this weirdest, and then gold is like, I don't know, keeping the whole thing going, and you obviously got to defend it by fucking peer pressure, being anyone that's walking over it on a wire. But that's not Australia. That's a fucking pit. That's a fucking mine shaft. Yeah? And it's very dangerous. It should be condemned. It should have a fucking sticker put on it that says DANGER. Open pit. Dangerous. I had a harness on. Not really. I didn't have a harness on. I didn't have time to put a fucking harness on. So yeah, this is Australia. Australia is the country where if I wandered off now and had no money and I went and helped a fucking farmer out in fucking Beverly, I don't know, fix a fucking shed for $600, and in exchange he gave me a bit of his paddock, and then I grew a fucking crop of pumpkins and sold them to fucking Ed, who makes pumpkin pie fucking then helped him increase sales, and then then maybe was able to purchase that land and do these things, or maybe I found a bit of Crown land and applied for that in a fucking conservation element or something. Or I go and, drive a truck or something like that and claw my way responsibly and carefully back to a fucking deposit that I can actually afford under the like predicted future. 30-year fucking mortgages with 5% deposit. 30-year mortgages with a 5% fucking deposit. What? The last fucking straw of the pit. That's Albo's like, I've got an idea, guys. 5% deposit. This is the very bottom. 5% deposits. How much deposit did my mum put on my fucking father's life and his entire fucking life savings? Nothing. She didn't put anything down. She just stole it. It's fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. In Holland, when they had this thing called tulip mania, they called it tulip mania. Mania. Basically, I'm going to rub all this. I'm going to clear the fucking board, and I'm going to get down to some base equations. And I think this is going to fucking be offensive. There is a radical problem going on with the estimated value of human beings, with their value of human beings, like input into a system. It's like despite being the most skilled, or one of the most skilled, one of the most educated, one of the most well-spoken, one of the most courageous, one of the most like careful, one of the most organized in another way, obviously not always organized in the way that someone who's just sweeping the floor of their cell is. Not obviously not when I'm fucking rattling around fucking global infrastructure. Sometimes there's going to be something that might look messy. I suggest you have a go and try to not look messy. And the fact that this is actually all organizing in this really like quite good production daily, like that's not something to be sneezed at. It's pretty high level organization. So my value to the Australian people is negative. You're like, he's a criminal. Put him in jail. Steal his shit. He's not contributing. It's like that number. It's like, what? Negative what? Ask the people closest to the ones that are really trying to fucking kill me. They'll say negative fucking million. He's a cunt. And it's like, what is the value of my representative from the opposite sex? Where are they? They don't exist. They just fucking don't exist. And I think it comes down to a fundamental thing with basically my exploration into the feminine, quite in depth, is there is an energy, or there is a thing that happens in the feminine energy where you and look, all of this can be changed, and you know, it's not uniform. I'm not going to sit there like Andrew Tate and fucking claim that you're not a man unless you do this, and you're not a woman unless you, all these things. But there is more of a thing to submit. To submit to being entered, right? That is the feminine. No matter how, like, let's get down to just that. There's nothing wrong with it or right about it. It's just a fact. There is a instinct of, and then there is a spectrum of that. It's not black and white. I don't think ever it's black or white. It's like there's something trying to enter me. And this is, I'm talking just in this metaphorical thing of, but also physically, something physically trying to enter me, or is it trying to enter my mind, or into my house, or into my fucking, my perception of the world, right? So, and then there's a spectrum between whether you're allowing that or not allowing that, and that is that's what rape. That's how we define rape. Okay, so rape is when a woman is trying to prevent something entering her, and then there is a force applied to enter her. Well, I'm talking about my country. I'm talking about the religious foundations that this country was built on. I'm talking about my family history and its acquired assets, like the family jewels of the Wise family. Is its collected knowledge of its environment and its interplay between its government and nation states and religion and all this. That and so has that pathway between myself distributing that to my children been raped? Yes, it has. Who by? Everyone. Everyone. And it's not, I don't have an organization that I hang my hat on. I'm not a cult leader. I am the highest representative of my family's line, and I am trying to maintain that. Now, our protection of Aboriginals doing this doesn't stop at Aboriginals. Why are we trying to protect Aboriginals doing this? Because it is the fundamentals of our fucking society that has entered theirs. I'm going to have to get into some fucking detail, because then people are going to be like, yeah, you raped Australia. It's like, There have been people that live in Australia that aren't Aboriginal that have what I would declare as 100% have raped this country. That's not what I'm representing. That is a human condition. That is the whole interplay between the things. Like our civilization seems to be able to, we have wonderful things like language, music, order of sorts, like law and order. Like, I haven't resorted to physical violence any time in any of this, despite my wanting to. The desire is there. If I requested and was allowed to enact Aboriginal law right now, you know, based on my abilities, it's like, what's going to happen there? I watched a movie last night with Jason Momoa in it, Road to Paloma, where he does just that. Someone rapes his mother and he kills him, and then he goes on this kind of runaway from the law to get away from the law. And it's a really beautiful movie about the interplay between Native people and the encroaching legal system, and it has all the elements, but he ends up dying at the end of that. I'm on my own road to Paloma. I'd love nothing more than to have a motorbike and a fucking knife in my back pocket and a fucking red hanky hanging from my thing, and you know what I mean? Go and fucking a fucking beautiful woman in a caravan in an orange orchard that does seem oddly familiar to the place where I lived. I don't know whether that's just coincidence, but it's fucking quite strange. I'd love nothing more than to fucking... And like he says, in that film, I have no regrets on what I did. I regret what I lost. But I'm not that. I haven't enacted revenge on any of the individuals that have thrown this shit at me. This is the law. This is what we bring. And on reflection on my commitment to the law, then what is exposed within those who I'm claiming have wished me harm? They have taken the law into their own hands. They have enacted revenge. And each one of them has uniquely done it based on, and this is where my psychological training and education helped me, on their own deepest, darkest traumas. That have been passed to them. So what am I doing here every day? I'm protecting my son, my older son, my youngest son, my like adopted sons, not technically, but like my young men who I've come into contact that perhaps have the same potential of the same thing happening to them, of being the target for generational trauma protected by the law. What is Australia built? Australia has built Ned Kelly fucking Disneyland. But it hasn't. Because that's a fucked up kind of thing to do. What am I holding right now every day when I do this? I'm holding the entire weight of legal precedent, of the law. Hell of a responsibility I've taken up there. Absolutely no other option. Not one. Not if I hope to not inflict my children with the same fucking scourge that has been enacted onto me. to seek revenge for things that I had nothing to do with, under the protection of our Prime Minister, under the protection of our police force. Pretty fucking crazy shit. But the problem is the McGees, in the case of my children's mother, you're not the Kellys. Your hotel fucking staff and hotel visitors. The Ned Kelly story is based on the fact that the Kellys were out there trying to do something in the system. Yes, they were in. It's like, and they're criminals, and he dies. We need to get to the fucking bottom of what the fuck is going on here. This example here, the work that I do daily here, does far more for the Aboriginal people's example, for Native Americans' example, to send across to the United States so that we can put pressure on them. To put pressure even on the relationship between England and Scotland, between England and Ireland, which is all constantly moving around. That's a pretty fucking big responsibility to take on. It's a pretty deep understanding of our legal system. It's a hell of a lot of work. Why don't I have a fucking model, a house, a beautiful 3-story fucking homage to Sandringham House at my father's estate in Gingin? Why don't I have my boat fitted out, as a beautiful and responsible, self-built, mobile, apartment / sail training school / workshop to go and do welding? And these were the things I was aspiring to do. Why don't I have that? Because I had to rebuild the entire legal fucking infrastructure and conceptions of the law for the entire fucking British Empire. That's a fucking task. That's a fucking task and a half, isn't it? And what does it say when we've gotten down to a place in society where people, because this is, I'd love to actually have full autonomy and be able to investigate the way that anyone else would do, because I would investigate it, because the situation, the West Australian state government terrified everyone, including my children's mother. Terrorism. And then they've allowed her to use their tools unchecked to attempt to murder me and to steal my children. And now she lives in a fucking paradigm where she believes I'm a criminal because the police did what she told them to do. And this is, if this isn't already a discussion between the police and there's something really wrong with the country, of course it is. So where does the onus of responsibility go to? The governor of Western Australia? Well, mate, it sits. You're the ex-police commissioner, governor of Western Australia. Yeah, if you haven't gone and mentioned to my children's mother that she is drunk and disorderly and using the fucking resources of the state to enact bloody revenge on her fucking ex-husband, or not even husband, on her children's father, opening up a fucking pathway to hell in the entire British Empire, then what are you doing? And if the answer is, well, we had to do it, Shannon, because we needed to map it out and you were the only one that could fucking do it, and we appreciate it, then that's an okay answer. I'm like, all right, thank you. You know, apart from that, I'm guessing you do an okay job at everything else. Every single level of everything was okay. And hopefully if we've fucking got through this, we now sit on a very solid foundation that will see us well into the fucking future and set us well apart from our United States counterparts, but hopefully in a cooperative basis. I guess I just need to know where I stand. And then sometimes I think, well, then the answer is like, Shannon, we don't even know how you're doing this or what you're doing. Just keep going and doing it. And then the answer is like, well, I'd like to have a vehicle of some description so that I'm not held in prison doing that. Yes, your prison's quite wonderful. You know what I mean? It's been quite a lovely cabin to fucking work from and an environment, but it's far from the personal autonomy that I think I deserve, having taken on a project so large as this. My personal finances, as to my relationships that might come from this, my projected fund, that is a giant, monstrous fucking banshee of a problem. But how many fucking vehicles are registered by the West Australian government that are sitting there being unused, and I don't have a fucking vehicle at the moment? Certain things like a license. I'm not going to drive unlicensed. I'm not going to do it. And I can't even begin to start on any of that fucking work until I get these things, these baseline things. And this is where I get to a weird thing. Based on that, I'm going to end this with this observation, this legal argument, is that the fact that the West Australian government has not supplied me with adequate, ability to transport myself, adequate licensing under the circumstances, extraordinary circumstances, I would say, then that in its very nature declares the West Australian government as a fucking alien identity. It is an invasive foreign entity. It's been completely hijacked and has no connection to the foundations of either Australia, the British Empire, the United Kingdom. It is completely just, it is a, like I've called it before, an aircraft carrier. These are highwaymen. These are criminals. The police, and it's like, I don't want to get to that stage because it's not the police, it's not the individuals. There needs to be a declaration of this. You have to provide me with these things, with these tools to do my job correctly. You cannot keep me prisoner while I sort out fucking 400 years worth of the law. That's never been the way anything fucking works in the world. This place was settled without permission. Sterling fucking bragged about it. The whole government was do you know what I mean? It's like, really, is that what we're down to? Is this state government interplay between federal government and state government? And you fail to provide an investigator at this level with adequate anything? I've been forced to live off my wits and innovation and in order to stabilize something so large as this that you were so negligent in. It's not. We're talking about a two-state solution in Gaza, in Israel, in Palestine. I fail to acknowledge the West Australian state on these terms, on this basis. It's not much older, really. The way that it was established is not much different. It's quite different. If Israel is a recognized state, Palestine, and there's an indigenous population, not one piece of my work is going to negatively continue the dispossession of Aboriginal people. In fact, it's going to do the complete opposite. So I think I'd put a motion, if I think this is how you talk about it. I haven't gone through all those practicing. I think I'd have to view things in a different way. I haven't gone through the jargon, the weekend course on jargon that you've all done. But I'd put a motion to not recognise the state of Western Australia in the moment and absorb it into the federal government temporarily while we make preparations to appropriately establish a state in good order and with a good example that doesn't just reflect back to the country of Australia, but reflects to the world outwardly. That says we will always do our job to have the best of our abilities in the most hostile of conditions, coming from threats, foreign and domestic. This is what we do. This is why we are the most trusted organisation in the world. Everything up until this point in the media is all contained with this paradigm. This is all far away and this isn't happening here. It's that entitlement. That's where this disgusting thing comes from. And there are similarities. There's similarities. I mean, the similarities here between Israel and the state of Western Australia, despite clear signals from our Premier that his alliances are with a terrorist organisation known as Hamas and that he is an absolute anti-Semitic piece of fucking shit Nazi. There is a genocide going on in Western Australia. Genocide is the attempted destruction of historic things. You're doing that to the Aboriginals and you're doing that to me and my family and countless other families. So I'd move for the United Nations, for the whatever it is, to not recognise the state of Western Australia, and no one does. Who the fuck knows what Western Australia is? How much? Who knows? Go do a survey of everywhere and everything about Gaza and Israel. Everyone knows that because it's been there. Ukraine and Russia, yeah. Western Australia, no one knows shit about it. It's established under the shakiest of examples by without permission in this kind of haphazard, reckless way. It's been an afterthought, basically, as far as the federal government goes. And it is, as it says, it's the Wild West. The reason I say Hotel California is because fucking here was if California looks like that, and that Californian ideal came here in the dark, fucking dusty, fucking Wild West of the fucking far outcrop of a fucking newly colonized continent in the dark, while historic tensions between places in the Middle East and places in Europe take up the forefront of everyone's attention. Yeah, the state of Western Australia is a completely monstrous fucking lunatic asylum. It's a model train set, lunatic asylum. It's bedlam at scale. And it's time to shut it down. It's time to move in. We appreciate the cover by the Trump administration, and obviously the AUKUS deal kind of sitting high on the horizon. Seems that there will certainly be a clear pathway ahead of this, through this, and we appreciate your assistance in resecuring this region back to the federal government, on the resignation of our Prime Minister, and as long as we can get a guarantee that this isn't a continued invasion, because elements of the United States have clearly present within this 40-year ideological invasion down religious lines, really. So we're going to have to get to using cutting-edge technological tactics and psychological warfare methods, and we've just got to clear the slate of all this nonsense. So we'd appreciate the United States to come and secure, make sure there isn't a play by China in the wake of this, to assist the Australian Army in resecuring Western Australia for Australians, and to remove this West Australian Labor Party government for questioning on their participation in the basically the building of this hellhole, the building of this infrastructure of horror. Obviously down a discriminatory, anti-Semitic, fucking horrific hell show. But in the same way, we wish to be autonomous, and we wish to decide our own trajectory. We'd like to have a cooperative, but we don't want too much involvement. We appreciate the Americans, but we do not want to be Americans. If anything, we want to act as just the counterbalance to describe really and to accurately paint the picture of the benefits of the system that was used as the scapegoat for the previous independence war. We appreciate that you're independent. We celebrate your history and your timeline on your on your soil in that way, and we understand you have a unique perspective and a experimental model, but we do not wish to participate in that. And so we appreciate your assistance in restoring order to this region, and then we hopefully with that will send a clear message to the entire country that no, a protest filled with fucking terrorist flags on it, on one of our most famous national icons, will not ever in a million years be acceptable. And that we have protocols and systems here that are cutting edge, state of the art, constantly updated, and also because one of the big ones is these older systems, historical foundational systems, actually in this paradigm of IT, invasion tech, of AI and all these things, actually stabilize even more. They become more effective because they don't rely on computers. I find it hard to think that I'll ever really use a computer for much ever again after this is all finished. Weirdly, one of the things I thought I might actually, like, I might get rid of all these computers, do all this shit. You know, obviously I'm using it as a comms device right now. And I might actually just get like I'd quite like to play like a video game, weirdly, to kind of get out this thing. And I think that's almost okay. Like if it's like off, you know, consoles that aren't connected to the internet. It's like that was all right. And it confuses me as to the level why this has all gone backwards in that arena. It's because we're trying to simplify everyone down to cogs. But yeah. So I think this is the way this is going to progress. And then I guess negotiations will be kept going between China and things like that. I guess the Prime Minister really needs to decide whether, you know, what he's going to do here. My connections allow me to do this under international law, and to recapture Western Australia, to bring it back into an acceptable model. What we really need to see from the Prime Minister is, because this is being held on the assurance of the United States President's commitment to assist, and the royal family's commitment to maintain their reputation, and then everything connected to that as a counter action towards the mutinous Australian government, federal and state and local. I think local being the example of my mother's boyfriend / carer / amateur fucking drug shelf stocker. So it's the identity should basically be yeah, I think basically it's the black Australian flag. I've displayed this many times. It's the Union Jack with, but let's make it an 8-pointed star below it, and the Southern Cross on a black background. This is the independent nation, formerly known as Western Australia, held on trust by the traditions and customs and protection of the Church of England, the British Empire, the King of England, the historical bonds between the entire British Isles region, on that framework, in defense of invasive cult-like pharmaceutical and entertainment-based propaganda stemming from a segment of the United States not sufficiently kept in order in its own region by its administration. And this is, then we can go step back through the decades and re-establish a true telling of what has happened now, I believe. Yeah, high water mark. I think we're well on the other side of it. So this sounds, I think this all seems quite good. And I suppose at the moment I'll extend that black flag, that entity, to the southern half of Tasmania, on a line basically approved by the Premier. I don't see any trouble on that line. Because I believe that the Premier of Tasmania, Jeremy Rockcliffe, is already holding up far more than really what he should for that anyway, for the entire country. And so that's just to keep a good oversight over the regions that I'm trying to bring back into some type of sanity. Speaking of sanity, if it's within my financial abilities, I think now's the time where I'd like to see some sanity stores reopened that just do CDs, and a wonderful mix of CDs of like a majority of the local artists, like 50% Australian, 50% everything else. The historic collection of musical artists, recording artists, and nothing else, just CDs and records and tapes, whatever. Music, it's just for music. No fucking movies. There's plenty of fucking other things for movies. This is just for music, sanity. We need a CD shop. We need a record store. And we need to encourage people to respond to this social media ban by going back to the previous social media paradigm, which is recording songs, album artwork, lyrics, music, history, passion from this paradigm, and you will be protected fully. And there's no need to go and get record deals. It's all cheap. Go and Google how to burn CDs and how to record and make it fucking rough and ready and get it done. Don't send your tapes anywhere. You send them to Sanity. You sell them to us for $1 and we sell them for fucking $15. And then you make your own arrangements based on that. If they do well, then you should start organising to do some live performances, and renegotiate your cut of the CD sales. That's in your responsibility. If you wish to, hire a record intermediary or management intermediary to do that, then yeah, all power to you. But this is how this re-emerges. Yeah, I think there's a commitment by the major mainstream newspapers and the television channels to be supportive of this. And I look forward to receiving comment to how this all plays out. I actually thought maybe instead of CDs, it could be, maybe we're down to a level now, and this could be an opportunity for China to produce small MP3 players at such an affordable rate that basically already have the album on there. Perhaps that might be a more exclusive thing. And so this takes us out of the phone paradigm. It's like we don't want to be listening on phones. We want to have that thing. It's like, I think thumb drives might have had a really good chance at being this, because they can open up like a little interactive software, but then we went away from computers, and it's like, that's really the problem. So we need to get back to computers. I think laptops are so affordable, so cheap. And then it's like, the point is, it's like, yeah, get off the fucking computer, and be a human. And with other humans. And that doesn't just mean on the playing field, it means on any playing field, and something that hasn't been funded anywhere near enough is the musical playing field for people that aren't playing violin. Because they're expected to go and run the gauntlet of alcohol distribution. That's crazy, because those two things don't necessarily need to be together. And I think that generation is going to demand that. So capitalism and the global order of distribution will sort that out. I'm sorry if you started a fucking boutique fucking lolly water fucking vodka company. I'm sorry. Yeah. Start making fucking canned tomato juice or something. Fuck knows. I really could help you, but it's just, yeah, we've got to be a bit inventive with the ways that we buffer out all these problems. All right, that ought to do it. I'm going to go get an update for how everything else is going. And wish you all the best. I'm seeing my son today, which is good. Definitely showing signs of being a responsible adult by coming and actually talking to me, which is wonderful. And yeah, that should be just about it. Thank you for listening once again, and I'll see you all tomorrow.